My inspiration for my collection this year was the solar system.
My mood board is based on my favorite childhood show called Monster High.
My inspiration for the collection was Peter Pan the movie.
My inspiration for my collection was based off the movie Tangled.
The inspiration for my collection this year was 90s prom dresses.
I was inspired by the movie film series Mamma Mia. My mood board is Princess and the Frog.
My inspiration for my mood board this year is Kali Uchis album cover Orcheas.
So my collection is inspired by Greek mythology.
So my inspiration for my collection is Across the Spider-Verse.
Interest, and I look through magazines and I just try to take ideas from dresses that I saw that I already liked.
Specifically planets that aren't as seen as wide out or as focused in on, because they each have unique qualities and I want to center in on those.
I focused on the three main characters, Frankie, Claudine, and Jackie Laura. Claudine is my favorite character, and I've always loved the message of inclusivity and the funky styles that they wore in the show.
The characters Peter Pan, Wendy, Peter Pan's Shadow, Hook, and Tinkerbell.
Growing up, my favorite Disney princess, and it still is my favorite Disney princess, was Rapunzel. I have all the main characters in this collection, like Rapunzel, Flynn Rider, the evil stepmother, and even the chameleon. And I absolutely loved watching this collection come to life.
I got into fashion when I was younger, and my Nana would buy me all the pretty sparkly dresses that I wanted, and she would tell me stories about her interest in fashion when she was younger, and I just knew that I really wanted to do that, and she's been my biggest supporter these 4 years, so shout out to Nan, I guess.
I love the colors and the energy, and I grew up around the beach and the ocean, and I also wanted to incorporate hydrangeas in honor of my papa.
And I really just like the outfits that each character had.
Because I really like flowers and I didn't want to go with a nature theme. And so I chose, and her album cover is really pretty, so I chose that.
I wanted to take the classic silhouettes and shapes, but give them a more modern feel with the colors and patterns and styles that I chose to use. It moves from dark to light, or light to dark, depending on how you look at it. And each section of the mood board represents one of the different gods or goddesses I wanted to represent. So there's Hades, Athena, and Persephone.
On my mood board, I have 3 characters that I really like, and honestly, they just inspired the entire thing. So I have Hobie Brown, also known as Spider-Punk, and I have Peter B. Parker, and then Spider-Noir.
My first impression of the textile world was via my great-grandmother, who taught me how to crochet. From the first time I made a simple chain to a full-on sweater, I fell in love with it. I loved making my own clothes, and that's why I chose fashion in high school, especially because my style has always been very eccentric, so it just made sense.
I chose fashion in high school because growing up I always enjoyed styling my parents, and they would always come to me for how to style their clothes and what kind of jewelry they should wear. And I think growing up in that household really made me enjoy fashion to how I am today.
I chose fashion as a freshman because my mom loved sewing, my abuelita loved sewing, and it just I wanted to learn how to sew as well.
I chose fashion because it stuck out to me. I didn't know that it was an option that I could do, and I had always been interested in it since I was little, and I saw it on the list and I chose it.
So I joined fashion because my Oma has always been sewing, and so I've always been kind of around sewing machines and fashion in general. I was always a more fashionable little kid because I always wearing dresses and stuff, even though I don't really apply to that anymore.
I chose fashion because all my life I've been really good in academic ways, and I wanted to expand more into my creative side and get more into the art world using fabric and textiles.
My biggest challenge was fabric that was too stretchy that I couldn't sew it on the machine, so I had to hand sew most of it, and not finding a fabric that I liked, so having to dye my own.
My biggest challenge was sewing the coat for my collection. I used a really heavy material and there were a lot of new techniques that I had never done before. I found that moving slowly and redoing parts that didn't satisfy me made it really turn out into a garment that I absolutely adore.
My plan after high school is to go to university for 4 years, and I would like to study in New York and do some years abroad if I can.
Fashion will always be a part of my life, even if I don't choose to pursue it as a part of my career. I will be going to Quincy College for 2 years to see where my passion lies, and then after that I will either go straight into the workforce or onto a 4-year college. I hope my job includes artistic elements, of course. So that's the goal at the moment.
My plan after high school is to go to college and major in fashion design. Out of college, I want to work in costume design, and I want to work for like a special company like Netflix or like Prime Video and work on like TV shows or movies.
Plan I hope to pursue is going to the United States Air Force for active duty, go to college after, and then become an EMT. But if that's not possible, I would like to go to college and do military reserve and then be an EMT after.
My plan after high school is hopefully to attend a college and major in early childhood education, become a teacher.
Enjoy our show!